The land of African business is presented as a forum of African reflections and solutions for Africa, a platform that proposes to be a unique space to promote meetings between experts, students and the media. This morning we speak to Eric Bazin, founder of the LAB platform. While you also award African startups, what's the selection criteria, and is your support only limited in assisting these startups? And if your answer is yes, where will this be done and in what way?
Ce concours, qui s'appelle Africanews Awards, est ouvert à toute start-up issue de la diaspora, des diasporas.
This contest is open to any startup from the diaspora or any startup from within the continent. We received more than 280 cases for this second edition. The jury will select 75 that will be invited, and this is also an exception label. That is to say that we will provide transport, accommodation and food to these youths for 5 days in Paris. This is an exception in the world of competition or trophies. We wanted to be different from others by the fact of just devoting over 80% of our budget at the invitation of these startups. The criteria are: must be under 35 years, no more than 5 years of existence, be efficient, that is to say, make money, be innovative, that is to say, actually produce a business plan that works, but that serves innovative missions. It is especially important that the model of the proposed project is replicable on the African continent. We will do a simple check to the invitation for 5 days of these young people, young women and men from the rest, with a respected parity, as many men as women it accompanies. We realized that the first year or the second year proves to be very difficult every time. So there are steps and must be observed in the middle of these steps. So you have to respect the codes of species, but they have to respect training, coaching. So the idea is to help these startups.
Now, Eric, according to you, what is the best economic model for the continent, Africa?
We have
an objective that is rather interesting, but it is by no means an obligation. But in any case, that is how we saw things. We are going to have like 90% of African stakeholders talking, and that is going to be very important. So yes, it's going to be like El Dorado. I deplore, however, inclusive aspect is not as consistent as it should be on this continent. I think today we will talk about various issues on the theme of the second edition of the Land of Business this October in Paris. And I think that this growth is not fairly distributed with great ethics and logic. About the model, honestly, I have no model. I'm not an economic expert, but beyond that, some touted the capabilities Kagame in Rwanda, but over 20 years, he has raised his country well. Certainly, this is indisputable. Others speak of the Gabon map emerging as something remarkable. Congo-Brazzaville initiatives exist. True, we can welcome them as like Morocco. I will say that there is a mosaic of economic success, but there is never going to be a single Africa in any way.
Il n'y aura pas de toute façon une seule et même Afrique. Il n'y aura pas.
There will not be the African Union in the economic sense. I don't think that even one single bit. And besides, I don't think this is the inclination and the same views for some heads of states and governments. However, there is a patchwork of successes, a mosaic of economic policies that work, and that is still where all the differences of all these countries lie. We can talk about this and be convinced about this right now, but with the populations and the youth, everything is possible.
Thank you very much, Eric, for giving us your piece on how the